You guys know that Byron Health Center?
Yeah.
That's rated one of the top 5 most haunted places in Indiana.
Oh
Really?
yeah. Mm-hmm. Dude, yeah, it's an old
Dude,
hospital.
There's awful
It used to be a
stories about
psych ward.
You're talking about the one that we passed on the way here?
Yeah, right across from the old Rickers. It's Get Go
Yeah.
Now gas station. Yeah, Byron.
Yeah. You know, there used to be 2 buildings there that they
I
tore
remember
down?
those 2 buildings, and your dad has a creepy story about them.
There, when he was a kid, there's underground tunnels that lead to each of those buildings.
From the hospital.
Yeah, at least that's what my dad told me.
Well, those buildings were more of like the
Yes, the 2 buildings were. The hospital, not so much. But that was like the psych ward where they kept fucking
Crazies.
crazy people. Hallucinating, like... Can you hand me the paper towel, please? Somebody? But
I got it, Cody.
So when my dad was younger, this is what my dad
You
said.
have a child?
Yeah, they
Your dad's your son.
Yeah.
they used to break into those buildings and go through the buildings, and they were
They're abandoned at this point.
yeah,
aren't
of course, and they still had like stuff in the rooms, like a movie, like beds and stuff, and so they found the underground tunnels, and they were like going through the underground tunnels, and like there's rooms in the underground tunnels too, and then where this is the theory, or what my dad has told me, so I don't take my word for it, like if somebody actually knows, but like they were down in the tunnels and running through the tunnels and looking at everything, and people get down in there and they spray paint all over the tunnels and stuff. Well, they went into like one big room, and then on the wall was just like this absolutely horrific painting of like a clown. Isn't that what he said?
Yeah, it was like a clown
Like
painting,
laughing and shit. It was like just like
it wasn't
horrifically weird.
It wasn't from the graffiti. It was like actual like artist, right?
Yeah, something like that. Like at
I
some
think.
point.
It was like a mural almost.
Yeah, but it was like he said it was just terrifying in the sense of like it being abandoned and all that, and it was just like haunting. I don't know why they tore it down. I think they tore it down because people were getting into it, breaking into it so much.
Oh,
Well,
yeah.
Just a safety
they're
hazard.
gonna tear down that Byron Health Center. It got bought out. They're building a new one. Thank God.
Oh, I thought people were still in that.
They're building another Byron Health Center somewhere else, and supposedly that place is gonna be turning into a strip mall, or some sort of
Interesting.
area of niceness.
I would hate to
Still
live
haunted.
or
From still
work
haunted.
there.
But it's from that
I
Byron
think
Health
it's
Center.
more of a retirement home now than anything.
It's a lot of for people for like retirement, people with some mental illness and stuff.
Assisted living.
But my dad, he went in there a lot. We did a lot of work for them. He says it's the creepiest place, even inside there. And my brother too, he says it's so creepy in there because that's an old like hospital that dates back like super far back. How they like started and all, like I forget like how it feels kind of like a shroot farm kind of like deal where it's like made in like the Civil War, and they just like helped people, but I don't know if it dated back
Well, I
that
think
far or
I think
something
the
like
old
that.
2 buildings were definitely built way before the hospital. I think
Probably.
because you could tell that those were like old, and then
yeah.
like the driveway up to them had like old brick pillars with like old lights on them.
Those pillars are still there.
Yeah, and it used to have like a metal gate. It was like straight out of a horror movie, man. It was crazy. And it was just like one drive up to the hospital or these buildings, and then they had like tunnels in between so they could bring people from building to building. And